Yeah.
So everything's going right now?
Yeah.
All right, listen. I just remembered this. I said that Sheena is a Punk Rocker is on their first album, and they put it in the sleeve to their third album on Rock and Roll High School. I was thinking of Judy is a Punk. That's on their first album. Sheena is a Punk Rocker is on their third album. So, accuracy is on the list for us, and just trying to be a little accurate.
Sure thing.
Ah, yes, come in. Our featured presentation is about to start. You have entered into cult cinema with the dastardly evil Cheese Film and my partner in crime, Hecubus. This is the Grindhouse Podcast. We're coming to get you, Barbara.
Welcome back to the Grindhouse Podcast. I am your host, as
Cheese.
always, Cheese Film, and joined with me today are my co-hosts and conspirators in the ever-evolving world domination plan. That's right. This is Mr. Hecubus.
Or Space Ace.
And this is...
Randy Official.
The Demon.
And I, of course, am the Star Child, the one and only. I love that. I think that's so awesome.
What, with the eye?
The beam? Yeah.
God damn, this movie's so stupid, it's great.
Today we're talking about a movie you might not have heard. A movie
probably
that is
didn't.
only found two ways. It's only been released two ways. On VHS and on this box set.
Yep.
There's not another way to see it.
On home video.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I guess you can watch a German dub.
Well, no, it was released in Germany and, England, or the Europe.
United Kingdom.
In
this
theaters,
is the United Kingdom.
In theaters.
Version of it.
It is?
Yeah, so the version on this has the Kiss music in it.
Right.
And that was the England exclusive.
Okay. Yeah, right, yeah.
But I'm a Kiss fan, if you didn't know that. Grab your tickets
Oh, that's awesome.
to the show. We're about to party. So this is the Kiss movie.
Yes.
The one that they're in, the one that they wanted to make at the time because they thought it was a good idea until about halfway through shooting. Paul was like, this is a bad idea.
Kiss meets Scooby-Doo.
Huh?
Kiss meets Scooby-Doo.
That stuff's cool.
So
No, that one is good.
That would come into play
than
later
this.
on. So this has got two different names. It's either Kiss meets the Phantom of the Park or
Which
Kiss
I got posters for both of them, Tom.
in the Attack of the Phantasm.
Attack of the Phantom. Yeah.
Phantoms, not Phantasms.
Phantoms. Go ahead and put them up there quick, Tom. Because the blue one, the one that's... that one. No, the other one. Yeah. I had the VHS.
You did?
Yeah, and that's what that's
the VHS cover
the
looked like?
cover of the VHS, yeah.
I always wondered why it's Gene and Peter up there.
Yeah.
You know, not any hate towards Peter Criss.
No, but him and Paula would be they're more friends.
the marketing people.
Yeah.
Because according to Ace Frehley, I watched the interview with Ace Frehley about this movie.
Yeah.
He and Peter Criss were just absolutely gone. They were drunk the entire time.
I was going to talk about that. That other one he just put up there is the European one. Attack of the Phantoms or whatever.
Attack of the Phantoms. Kiss in Attack of the Phantoms, which I think is a better title. Because I like how it's...
I think Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park is more in line with what they were thinking of horror movies.
Like a Hollywood or
from back in the 50s and
Universal
60s,
horror.
yeah. And Attack of the Phantoms is more... Well, it wasn't modern because it came out in 1979.
Right.
That one did. So it's, it's kind of the same thing. It's just I like the other one better. Meets the Phantom of the Park.
This
Versus
movie,
the Phantom of the Opera.
Right. This movie came out in 1978.
1978.
A year before Rock and Roll High School.
It came out October 28th on NBC.
You know what's crazy? That's my engagement day.
It is, really?
Yeah.
This is the time I saw it the first time.
Look at that.
When it came on TV, yeah.
I would have loved to see this as a kid coming on TV. I did get to have this as a kid, so I got to see it as a kid, which is
Right.
the only time this movie is good. If you don't watch
is
this
good
movie,
as a narrative movie to watch, because I think I have a great time watching it now.
I do too, but I think that's because I love stupid movies and I love Kiss.
Yeah.
If you don't like those two things, I think this movie might be unwatchable.
I think it might be too. Because it is absolutely both of those things.
Yeah.
Kiss taking themselves far too seriously, and it's ridiculous.
It's
Everything about it is
insanely
stupid.
It's so stupid. And they didn't necessarily want to make it. And I pulled this out because
Well, yeah,
there's a little...
they were talked into it by somebody said it would be Star Wars meets A Hard Day's Night.
their manager at the time did.
Yeah.
That's how he sold them on it. Paul Stanley, that's what he keeps saying about it.
Yeah.
He's like, in my defense, this is how it was sold to me. But so Gene has said that this movie, it's us stepping up and doing something that we'd seen our heroes do. The Beatles, they made movies, so this is us doing a movie too.
Those Elvis movies aren't Citizen Kane either by any stretch of the imagination.
No, but I do think
So they
it's funny.
should stay like for years after it came out. If you worked for Kiss, you were never allowed to mention this ever. They didn't want it talked about. Nothing. And here's another thing: Kiss is pretty cartoony, right from get go. And Hanna-Barbera produced this movie.
Hanna-Barbera thought of doing it. They're the ones who
Yeah.
came up with this idea
So,
and went to their manager about it.
Right.
This is, and I think that's funny because Randy pointed out earlier that Kiss and Scooby-Doo had a crossover.
Yeah.
They have had a couple crossovers,
Yeah.
and their most recent Kiss Scooby-Doo movie is kind of a remake of this.
Oh, really?
Where they've got their powers, there are these cosmic deities, their music kind of saves the world stuff.
I
It's
forgot
really
to
cool.
get a picture of the talismans. I couldn't
well,
find them.
They're in this.
Okay.
If you can kind of see that up here in this corner,
They're
are there
so stupid.
ridiculous talismans? And I think the talismans are even in the Scooby Doo one.
Good.
Like it's
I'm
all
gonna
their
watch
powers
it.
are
I've
the
never
same?
seen it, but I'm going to check it out.
and they voice them. Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, it's Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer.
Oh, really?
In the new one.
Awesome. That's very cool. Because those two guys are those guys now.
Yeah, I mean
You know
those
what
two
I mean?
guys have been with this band for a long time.
Longer than the other two were in it.
Yeah, and like back with Psycho Circus and stuff
Yeah.
like that, they were doing a lot of the backtracks.
Yep.
And just kind of took over. I mean, they're doing it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Yeah. Tommy Thayer played Ace's part on something. And then Ace, I think,
Had to relearn it.
or no, he faked it.
Wow.
There's something like that. Something with that Tommy Thayer. Or he came in and re-recorded all of Ace's parts for something like... Vinnie Vincent did that for Creatures of the Night,
Yeah.
but the Ace Frehley stuff is better.
And Kiss infamously had a lot of drama
Yeah,
back
they
in
did.
this era too. And actually,
This is a
box
great era
set
for Kiss,
has
too.
a lot of that behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of interviews.
If you
But-
like Kiss, you probably already have that.
Most likely.
But it's worth checking out.
It is,
So
because
if you
it's
know
cool.
a Kiss fan, borrow it from them and check it out. It's pretty cool. And this movie's in it. And that's worth it. That's worth the price of the whole box
It
set.
really is, especially if you're a Kiss fan. And if
Yeah.
you're not a Kiss fan and you want to see something that's like,
You
what
like
am I
corny
watching?
sci-fi movies?
Perfect for
Yes,
you.
it is.
Because it kind of feels like everybody's giving it their all too. Like nobody feels like they're phoning it in too
Yeah.
much.
Well, like you said, Ace and Peter Criss.
They were blitzed.
Yeah, and
I don't even think they were.
Well, they
Ironically,
were-
that acting was still
it would have been
pretty
bad.
good.
And when I watched this movie as a kid, and Ace Frehley's kind of goofy and he's the
Rock and roll,
goofball.
man.
But then immediately after this movie is the interview on
Tom Snyder.
Tom Snyder's show.
Yeah.
And he's drunk on that show
Yeah.
too, but I didn't know that, and I thought Ace was just a
That
goofy,
is so-
fun guy.
It's so cringe. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you could see, even through the makeup, Gene's face. He's like, just shut up, man. But, all right, let me tell you two things about those two guys. Peter Criss, they couldn't handle how movies are made. Mm-hmm. And all right, we're going to take this scene. Then they got to relight everything and go back to your trailer and stuff. So they were bored to tears, stuff like that. And Peter Criss refused to come back for ADR
Right.
to redub it. So a cartoon voice guy named Mike Bell did his voice for the whole
Peter
show.
Criss isn't in this.
Yeah. It's not his voice. And when the director first met the guys, Ace Frehley, who's a weirdo
Yeah.
and has an eccentric sense of humor, didn't talk to him, and he would just say act.
Yeah.
That's why he says it in the movie. But those were going to be his only lines.
So when they so Ace was talking to in this interview, and apparently everybody was going to get a phone call about what they wanted their role to be and what they kind of dialogues and stuff like that they wanted. And he said, "Well, apparently I missed mine because when
probably
I
did.
got to shooting and I read the script and all I was saying was act, I said you better rewrite this.
Yeah.
and I
he
want some
demanded a
lines.
rewrite, yeah. Because,
So-
but it's partly his fault for going around and only being a weirdo going act.
Yeah,
Like
which,
a Mars
before
Attacks
that
guy.
even happened. So why would you, what is that?
Yeah, what is it's him thinking it's funny. He probably did get a kick out of it too.
Well, he probably did. He was drunk.
Yeah.
You know, like and he doesn't even remember a lot of doing any of this.
Yeah.
She was asking him like,
doesn't.
what was your favorite line? What was this? What is that? And he's like, if I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even remember. I was gone. He said I got drunk the entire time, and then to pick me up, they gave me cue cards and like to focus in on it, I'd snort coke. And I was like, oh Lord, dude, jeez. But this movie is directed by Gordon Hessler
Yeah, I forgot that.
and written by Jan Michael Sherman, not Jan Michael Smith.
And not Jan Michael Vincent.
And those two guys, I'm unfamiliar with.
Me neither. I didn't even bother.
Look
Because
at what they did.
the spectacle is Kiss, man, and it's just
And
it's everything. I love it.
They hate it, and like to this day, like not Gene, Paul, I guess is like, yeah, it's whatever. And Ace is like, no, it's what it is. It's a silly movie for Kiss fans.
And that's what exactly you should think of it as.
And I, to a degree, think a lot of stuff in this is pretty cool and has a cool concept behind it. And I mean, like Hanna-Barbera, who by the way hate the movie too.
Oh,
They
really?
hated the movie, yeah. I guess this just was not what anybody wanted it to be.
Yeah. They were
And-
probably difficult to work with too. They might hate it because of they have more than just watching it to hate it.
Well, yeah, because they're in
They
it.
had to deal with no, I mean Hanna-Barbera.
Oh, with that, yeah, and they're
Yeah. All the
some of the bigger
headaches.
producers at the
Yeah.
time too, making stuff, especially TV stuff,
Especially
which is
TV
what this
stuff.
was. So it was kind of a cursed production from jump.
Yeah. Actually, when I saw it, was also the network TV premiere of Halloween,
Wow,
which I did not watch because I would have had nightmares.
yes, you would have
And we love Kiss, so. But it was the same night.
the Halloween play.
Yeah.
And like when you go back and you watch this, I think the effects aren't great,
No.
but they're like some of them are fun. Like I like when
They're definitely
playing
fun.
around the amusement park, and like they're rotoscope or they're not rotoscoped in, but they're superimposed over it.
Yeah.
And like you can tell they had a set to work with, like when they're walking on the water.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
cool.
all that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it sets the mood a little bit. You
It
know,
totally does.
I think the villain in this is a really cool villain, a cool concept too.
And
he's
he's-
very Flash Gordon villainy too.
I was going to say Dr. Evil, but yeah, exactly. He's got villain around it,
Yeah, he's got a secret lair.
Yeah,
Of,
everything. The whole thing.
yeah, I love this. Yeah, I think you got a picture of his ray gun.
Yeah.
With the squiggle line ray too. Like
It's nuts.
it's there's parts of it that are just too charming.
Yeah.
But then there's other parts of it that are like fishing wire is visible
Yeah.
on a very well lit set. Like when they're using their mind to bring the box of talismans
Yes.
over there, it's very like you can like it's if I had yarn in my hand, that's how visible it is. And you've got like the whole atmosphere of the park, I think, is perfect for them too.
It is.
I think it like them being in this amusement park works perfectly. And in the remake with the animated one, they're in an amusement park too.
Yeah.
So there's something about their vibe and an amusement park that just really does work well together.
It does. And like in Rock and Roll High School, where all the high school is big fans of the Ramones.
Yeah.
Everybody's walking around with a Kiss balloon.
Get your Kiss makeup.
And yeah, the announcements are constantly promoting the concert.
Yeah. I mean,
which they did a concert. The concert was filmed in the parking lot, and they did a whole concert. And then they did Rip and Destroy they didn't do in front of an audience, I guess. They just and then with a backing track and that kind of stuff. But the rest of it was 8,000 people were there to watch a live show. Yeah.
And ironically,
did I say it was at Magic Mountain?
I was just about to bring that up too. They do film some of this stuff in the Magic Mountain amusement park, and that's what this says too. So like, so from May 19th at 6 p.m., the Magic Mountain amusement park in California.
Yeah.
It's probably where they played this too. So you could have gone there,
right,
and watched it.
Yeah,
where they shot it, because that part where they're fighting the dog kung fu guys,
right?
That is Magic Mountain.
Yeah,
that was the actual
in front of their roller coaster.
Yeah. I think that this opens up a doorway for potential amazing crossovers, like when they go into that like terror of torment, or what would you call it? We got all the Universal monsters there.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And they fight them all. I think that's so cool.
That is very cool.
And, like, you know that people like this idea because Seth MacFarlane really loved it. He did Kiss Save Santa stuff.
Yeah.
And, all of that kind of.
That would have been an amazing movie.
Yeah, what a
real life.
And I really, like, it sucks that this movie did so bad in their eyes, too.
Yeah.
Because that is what I would have loved for Kiss to have done. It's just silly
Campy
Saturday
stuff.
morning specials, you know, because they're superheroes in this, or cosmic deities, or
something.
But they don't really have power. They have power from these gems. Like it's wild. It's wacky.
It is,
and
it's out there, man.
It's if you like Star Wars, if you like Flash Gordon, if you like Buckaroo Banzai,
cartoons,
all of this stuff feels
it works.
Good. It works. You don't have to suspend your disbelief too much.
Right.
You can just enjoy it.
Yeah, it's complete. You put your disbelief in the closet.
Yeah.
Don't even bring it to the show.
Because and that's probably the Hanna-Barbera charm of it, is they really put the goofiness kind of forward, but not in a silly way. Because
no, it's not silly.
It's not, but it's silly to us because
it's ridiculous.
Hindsight, yeah. But the movie isn't like when you go down into his lair. He's the guy who's creating all the animatronics, you know. So like it's way too technical and gizmo-y and sci-fi.
Yeah.
But they sell the fact that he's making these animatronics.
Right.
You see him build them. You see the progression of it, and it's very impressive.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so this all makes sense. You've already set up that so that when you keep coming back to it, he's got his Palpatine desk of doom. If it slides you in a little bit more naturally.
Yeah.
He also is the best thing that's happened in that amusement park. Why are they firing him?
Because he wants to kill everybody or something.
Well, he wants to. That's the revenge. He's like, no, your stuff is too expensive, Devereaux.
That's why. Because it's too expensive.
It's I'm creating science here, and it's like you really, really are.
Yeah.
Like the amusement park is failing. This Kiss stunt is to get money in the amusement park.
Right.
Like, give him a little bit more money to do a little bit more better, but like his animatronics are like they're people in costume, but like
they don't have them today.
In the world of reality, or in the world of their reality, like it would blow everybody's mind.
It really would
blow everybody's mind,
because they're kind of almost sentient because they make decisions. When you're fighting somebody, you got to decide what you're going to do.
And I like how, even that kind of raises the question of like, because you see him mind control some of these people with
That
buzzers.
hero guy, yeah.
Or the groupers gang or whatever they are, the hooligans who are messing around in the park. He has a way to control them, and I don't think we ever cut back to them. Once they are shown to be animatronic, what's the word? Pilgrimy people. They never come back.
Yeah, right. I think that it's just to show that they're humans that are now like living in hell.
Yeah, a constant, undying.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible. But like, he's a genius.
Yeah, he's a genius.
And your buddy there is just throwing you away, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It really sucks. And there's another thing too. So like you've got the filming in this park, and it feels like they're filming a lot of it in the park.
Oh, absolutely.
And it feels like a lot of it is hot. There's a lot of
Yeah, well, it's
shots
Southern
in it
California.
that you've got the sun beating down on you, and he's wiping his sweat and stuff like that, and like yeah, it looks hot. Mm-hmm. Like they had an hour to shoot here, and they just shot here. There's no like lighting or anything like that. They're just filming what they can get, and it still looks like a hot summer's day.
It does.
And it's impressive for a movie that's budget was like $10 and a stick of gum. Mr. Randy, have you seen this movie? Did you watch it?
I have seen this movie. I have seen this as a kid, and then I saw a couple clips on YouTube because that is where I find most of my videos. But
Like the podcast, we're on YouTube.
yeah,
Yes.
we are. I get it. It is cheesy, and I think I had a nostalgia vibe for it. And also, I didn't have to rewatch the whole thing. I only watched clips. So it's all the best parts. I didn't think it was that. I think it was a band movie.
See,
I think anything that has like a musician in it back then, this is the standard. If you go above this or like Rock
I
and
don't
Roll
think
High
anybody
School,
else did.
I think you're okay. I think now if you're a musician and you're in acting things, you have to act. But
like Jared Leto.
back then, it's like you're good. You guys actually were them. Like these, it wasn't Kiss playing Kiss. It was Kiss playing these Kiss plus, like
Yeah,
whatever. They were
yeah.
superpowers. They all
Yeah.
corny. The Ramones were just Ramones. The Beatles outside of that one movie are the Beatles. Elvis is pretty much Elvis. Even all those people are them.
The
They're
Foo Fighters too. Studio 666. The
they're
Foo
Foo
Fighters
Fighters?
just play the Foo Fighters. Yeah.
So
Well, and the Rat Pack plays the Rat Pack too.
Yeah.
credit to them.
Tenacious D play kind of characters of themselves.
Character.
That's more
Have you
like
seen the Pick of
this.
Destiny?
Yeah.
Oh, I love the
That's more like this. Pick a Destiny, I would say, does all that these do better. Like that
they have
took
time
the
to
formula
learn,
and
yeah.
did it good. This was like the start of that. This was like
Well,
the
I mean,
start where you're like, no,
1978.
we're not just the band. We're not our names. We're actually going to try to do this. Even that they did get drunk. If you don't really play a guitar for 3 hours, and you're like, no, dude, you just gotta go back. Yeah, dude, I'm probably gonna drink
Well,
if I'm
yeah,
just
but
sitting out in this thing for a while. Then you're gonna
his-
call me at 3. And this was back when they didn't even care about workers, right? Like they were like, no, just be whenever I call you. I just
They
need
had
you
a
whenever.
union.
I'm just saying, like
No, that is how it works, though.
they were like, they
we're gonna
didn't
shoot a
take
scene
any
of this.
consideration on planning on his part. So
Yeah,
like,
they
these
didn't.
People,
They were not into the filmmaking aspect.
yeah.
Of it.
But his alcoholism.
No, I'm not saying
really
that it's a problem.
ruined
If
his-
Homeboy didn't even voice his lines, like that's a problem. Because then, really, you're a body.
Alice Cooper's in a movie called Monster Dog that came out around
Wasn't
this
he
time.
also in like a horror thing?
Hang on.
Okay.
I haven't seen Monster Dog yet, but he was a big alcoholic. But he was also in Prince of Darkness, which might be what you're thinking of, as a homeless guy. It's really cool. Prince of Darkness we need to do. I love that movie.
A
I
good
didn't know
example
Alice Cooper was in
of
a
somebody
movie.
who's trying to at least act is the David Bowie in the Dark Labyrinth. Like,
Oh, David
that's
Bowie
not a
is
David.
That is
it's
a
not good.
whole-
Yeah, David
it's
Bowie's
great.
acting.
But it's
Dark
not
Labyrinth-
a Dave. Like that's
It's just
the only
Labyrinth.
exception to like. This is not a. this is not a movie.
You
This
said
is
Dark
a,
Labyrinth. It's Dark Crystal and
Whatever.
Labyrinth. You
Yeah,
got it.
whatever.
It's just, but David
This
Bowie's in
is-
The Man Who Fell to Earth too. not as David Bowie as an alien.
Yeah, I think
David Bowie was an
He's
alien.
acting. Yeah, he was.
if you're looking for
Ziggy
more than
Stardust.
this, you didn't know what this movie was.
Yeah,
like it'd be
right.
like going to
Absolutely.
one of these and being like, "What? This isn't a good movie. This isn't like The Godfather."
Yeah, you kind of get what you want. You're expecting.
Yeah.
with this.
Oh, Kiss isn't a movie. It's probably gonna be. Oh, I'll probably see Kiss. Yeah. That's probably what you should say. You should probably be like,
Yes.
I will probably
It's
see
what's
Kiss.
Funny
You're
is
right.
because the animated movie. Look, so they would have been on Scooby Doo in the 2000s.
Yeah.
And then they did this movie. Hanna-Barbera clearly sees, like, they are our band. Like, we've got to do something with them.
Well, he probably also likes them. It's hold on. The
maybe.
guy who makes Scooby Doo, the
two guys.
Yeah, but
the monster guys,
They're older, man.
whatever.
And they were like,
Liked the monster people. You tell like he was
Well,
like,
but-
no, these
yeah.
are just.
Yeah.
If they didn't write themselves, he would have made them something like that. That's what. So this is like right out of his mind,
Yeah.
essentially. Oh, mass.
well, and after they died is when they, came into Scooby Doo. So when you've got the What's New Scooby Doo show and like Shaggy, and which I love, that that opens with them, the Scooby Gang, like busting ghosts.
Yeah.
And instead of being like terrified, Shaggy and Scooby are like looking at their watches, like, "Hey, can we get this over with, please? We got to go see Kiss."
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's like the one time they're like, "Aren't you guys afraid?" It's like, "No, it's Halloween. Let's go."
That's funny.
And then in the movie, everybody's a huge fan of Kiss. Clearly,
yeah. Everybody.
As
Getting
they
their
should,
face
because
painted.
Yeah.
it's the Kiss movie. It would be weird if they were like, I hate them.
but
It's if you're not looking at it like everybody's got a Kiss balloon. It's like Kiss Day at the park.
I feel
when it's
like-
really just another day, and then
just happens to be there.
teenage people are going to be going to see the show.
I guess. I don't know. That feels more like 80s movies vibe to me. You're like, no, of course they're all going to see this. Don't think too much. Don't think too much.
Yeah.
This is just the plot.
Exactly.
Don't worry about that logic.
and they all and they got superpowers in this too.
The
so
eye.
Gene Simmons, who plays the demon, he can breathe fire.
Which there's a picture, Tom.
Yeah.
That's not Gene Simmons.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's Paul Stanley, the guy with the fire. They superimpose the fire.
Yeah.
He can really do that and does it every day. Every day he's breathing fire and he really does it.
Yeah.
Why not just have him do it?
We gotta have the stick.
So
It's probably
he could grab. They have like castle stuff. He could have grabbed a torch and blown fire for real because he really does that.
And the effect looks really bad.
It does. It's not cool.
It doesn't look like it's come out of his mouth at all.
No.
You see too much of his open mouth.
Right. Yeah.
So he's a demon. He's got a weird, backwards, forwards voice.
Yeah, it's like layered. He has
Devereaux.
And
Yeah.
he talk. Have you noticed like what he's saying?
No.
Like when
Star
girlfriend-
Child.
Yeah, that scene. She comes up to him, and he's like, "Speak not to us, your mind speaks to us." Like, what are you saying?
They're saying things deeper than she understands. And then he growls. Or
I love
roars
that
or
liar.
whatever.
Yeah, come on, man.
And then you got Paul Stanley, who has his eyeball of magic.
Yeah.
You can shoot lasers out of it, but those lasers can also let you listen in on conversations.
Yeah.
And walk on them.
And they got the sound effects from cartoons, all them cartoon sound effects.
Yeah. I do like. So you just had the shot of him up there. I love that shot
That's pretty cool.
when he's like hypnotizing her.
Yeah.
And that the one eye is glowing.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool.
It's very cool.
I really, really do genuinely like that.
Yeah.
And they got the mystic music playing too with the whole. it's cheesy. Then you got the Ace Frehley, who is the Starman. Or the Space
Space
Man.
Ace.
Space
Space
Ace. And he can teleport,
Right.
which I don't know where that came from because that's not really spacey.
Yeah, but they got a guy breathing fire. Another guy's already shooting lasers out his eyes. What are you going to do?
I would give Ace the lasers.
I would have too.
Because I love his getup too with the big flare.
Is it still up there?
No, it's in his later on, like his alive look with the big.
Yeah, it's a little farther
cape.
out. Yeah,
and
the cape.
What are the gauntlet-like things
Yeah,
on his arm?
yeah.
I really wish he was wearing that in this.
Yeah, and the cape especially.
I like the leotardy look with the smaller V, but the big blue cape and the big shiny
Yes.
stuff,
It screams this movie. It should have
yeah.
been perfect for it.
But it's insanely reflective. So
What does
it's
Peter
probably-
Criss do? Oh, his sticks shoot something, right?
Or no, he's an he's acrobatics. He's
His
kung
stick
fu
shot
guy.
out something at one point. How somebody's walking in the sky or something? I don't remember.
Thinking
Just
too
getting
much.
confused.
You guys are thinking too much. The
Yeah.
power system is they have power.
Well,
Yeah,
no, but that's
right.
what I want to talk about. Is like you got Gene Simmons who can breathe fire.
Yeah,
Paul Stanley who can shoot lasers. Ace Frehley who can teleport, and then you've got Peter Criss who can be there. Like they just kind of go down and how
Right.
impressive they are.
like on Family Guy when they get those powers and Meg's fingernails grow.
yeah, I was like, how? But yeah, so that's what you kind of got going on. We'll take a small break. But yeah, so it's got a declining feel of power. They
right.
couldn't think of something for
Yeah,
him. He's got his
exactly.
animal-like instincts, but it doesn't
Like
really.
he should have turned into a tiger or something.
Yeah, well, and Kiss isn't really afraid to go into like the wacky stuff. They got comic books and video games,
Mm-hmm.
and you can turn into animals. That would have been fine, but that
Sure.
would have been expensive. So like,
That's true. It would have been. Although the park probably has them. I don't remember, but
and they would have, it would have fit. Oh, hang on, one more time. Hello. I'm okay. We're recording. Is everything all right? I love you. Bye. She's on her way home.
Please silence all phones.
I'm cutting that out.
But progressively, the powers do
The
get
powers
like
go down, they
way
kinda
worse.
get watered down, and they're not as
Well, I mean,
Impressive.
in retrospect,
Impressive.
if you look at the band, the two people who actually have main character powers and are main characters in this are the main characters of Kiss. Like
Yeah.
the other two people are the backbone and not to be like undermined. Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley are the reason that band is Kiss.
yeah,
Well,
whenever
and,
like the Rolling
period.
Stones and stuff, we have a concert. It was the biggest concert ever taken. It was in Toronto.
Live Aid.
No. Okay, it was a second. It might be the one venue biggest audience thing. I don't remember
Yeah.
what it is. It was in Toronto. And they say the Rolling Stones are going to be there, and it's just Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. And then like on TV shows, they'll be like, Aerosmith's going to be on, and it's just Steven Tyler and Joe Perry.
Yeah.
So Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley going along with that is exactly. You're
Well,
right.
even
That makes
at
sense.
this time too, they were the ones calling. Well, Gene Simmons. So, little background on Kiss. Gene
Simmons, great guy.
Gene Simmons was always how he is. He has not changed at all.
Right.
according to Paul
Bummer.
Stanley.
Bummer. That guy is not the cool one because he could be.
He thinks he is. I think it was Lisa Lampanella said she was watching. She's like, "What's with his hair?" She said, would you watch Planet of the Apes? And you're like, "There's the hair."
Yeah. So, according to Paul Stanley, when they were young, they're kids in, I think, high school-ish, he wanted to start a band. And he had a buddy.
Yeah.
And Gene knows how to play a bunch of instruments. Like, I think, can play the guitar and he can play the
Yeah.
bass.
All right.
Or no, he could play the bass and he couldn't play the guitar, but he could play something else. And he needed a guitar player, and Paul
Yeah.
could play the guitar. He played a classical guitar. He was a scholar. His parents are musicians.
No. They must have been beaming with fucking pride, man. Because they're hoity-toity. If
Yeah.
they're musicians, they're probably playing in an orchestra, and their son's got makeup on his face and flames and crap.
Well, and they're two little Jewish kids from the Bronx or something.
Yeah, something
inner
like that.
city, New
Brooklyn
York.
or something like that.
And they meet up and they're like, all right, this is what I've got so far. What can you give me? That's what Gene says to Paul. Paul's deaf in one ear.
Yeah.
And that's the speaker that was playing the music. So Paul didn't hear anything. So he was like, well, this is what I got. He played something. And she's like, well, he's not good, but I think we can work with him. And they snowballed. They just kind of kept at it and kept at it and kept going. They didn't drink. They didn't smoke. They didn't do any kind of drugs. They were
Gene Simmons
so
has never
focused.
drunken or had taken any drugs in his entire life.
Neither did Paul Stanley. Paul Stanley's
it's
choice
more
of drugs
famous that
with
Gene
that
Simmons did.
yeah, because he made it his whole character.
Brand, yeah.
Paul Stanley was a sex addict.
So
and
was
that
Gene
was his
Simmons.
drug. Yeah. Didn't marry his wife till what? 2012?
And then she ended up divorcing him because he cheated on her again.
He's a horrible
What the
guy.
heck?
Coming a fanboy though, and I've ran into him once. He ran into me actually, but so that starts snowballing, and then Ace and Peter come on, and they become Kiss, and they're playing in these dive bars and stuff like that with giant speakers that have no amplifiers in them, just to look cool. Mm-hmm. And
Van Halen used to do that too.
Yeah, they got to set it up and take it down themselves, and eventually they become who they are.
Right.
So when they're filming this, and Ace is like, well, the reason I think they don't like it so much is because they were never drinking anything. They were never having any fun. It was all business for them.
Right.
Whereas I'm over here, can't remember in yesterday, so it's not a big deal for me. But for these two, Paul talks about it in his audiobook where like he's watching this on the big screen. It's a sold out audience. It's a huge deal. He's sitting next to his manager and a
Are you
buddy.
talking about the first time they ever showed it to anybody? Yeah, and it was all the executives and everything, yeah.
And he's just, my God.
They couldn't take it, how bad it was. And I guess the audience liked it.
And his guy there was like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And Paul's like, no, it was not.
I see exactly both of those points of view. Because if I was in this movie, I would be like, damn it, I hope nobody sees this.
Somewhere over here was, they asked if they want us to be in a movie. We said yes. They never asked us if we can act.
Right.
And they can't. I mean, like, they're in movies now, too. Like, they'll get cameos.
Oh, yeah.
Weird
Like,
cameos.
Why the him or something like
with
that.
the James Franco movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And why are they in that?
You have to. They were not producers on this movie. They didn't want this movie to be made. They got paid to be in that movie.
Yeah.
And to walk out of that helicopter and to just stand there. And there's references. Oh, Kiss was awesome, right? The whole movie, and then they show up at the end, and there's not any better.
Yeah.
They were not acting any better. They're acting better in this.
Yeah, Gene Simmons made a couple movies. One of them I saw called Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat with Sam?
No, it's from the 80s.
Okay. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And
Because he wanted to be an action guy.
yeah, and he was in a couple of TV shows
Wasn't
and
he
stuff.
with Jason Segel? He did a lot of stuff with him.
I don't know.
Or
Steven
he's-
Seagal, you mean?
Steven Seagal. He's a villain in a Steven Seagal movie.
I think he's a villain in a Steven Seagal movie, and I didn't see it. And I wasn't
a
going to
lot of
watch
people
it.
saw it.
I'm not going to watch a Steven Seagal movie. I don't like him. It's just boring to me.
I was this close. Oh, there's a movie I saw on Vudu because I was looking for this on Vudu. Just as an off chance. There's a movie called Ringleader on Vudu. It's a documentary, okay? And it's got all 4 members of Kiss in it.
Wow.
And the poster is like circusy stuff, and I'm like, okay.
What's it called?
What is this? It's called Ringleader.
Is it the one you were disappointed with?
No, it's the one about the guy who made onion rings. And his story, which was not interesting enough, that the cast of the documentary made the documentary about that guy being a jerk to this old guy making onion rings. And Kiss likes
not
their
in
onion
it?
rings.
Oh.
They had a Kiss concert, and the guy's like, hey, here's some onion rings. And they were like, yeah, these are good onion
They
rings.
probably liked them because they were free.
I was like, what? I saw the trailer
Kiss is in it.
as a cameo in a documentary.
About a guy
Onion
who makes
rings.
onion rings.
But so the
All right,
documentary
that's-
starts
I'm in for that.
about the guy who wants to make about him, but he doesn't want to be in the limelight, any of this
Because
stuff.
making onion rings?
Yeah, I mean, and this guy just likes his onion rings, and this whole crew, and he's like pushing him to be on the cover of all of his advertisings, on all of this stuff, like really making a face out of this guy who doesn't want that. So the crew's like, well, it's more of an interesting documentary to make it out of you than it is out of him. So they didn't tell him.
Right.
They just
That's
started
even
making it
better.
about him.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I was
That's
like,
cool.
oh my God. Because what the hell? Yeah, how you going to sell a documentary about onion rings?
Why'd you pick this movie and not Detroit Rock City?
Because they're in this movie as their characters.
Right. This is I forgot about Detroit Rock City as I was naming other ones, but yeah, they're That's a story about those
Kids going to see Kiss.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but one of my friends really wants me to watch it.
But you should
Detroit
watch
Rock
it. It's
City
decent.
and I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Yeah, I want to hold your
Same
hand.
kind of stuff.
They're kids going to see a concert.
Yeah. This is them being.
Can't Buy Me Love.
Is that what it is?
It's either I Want to Hold Your Hand or I Can't Buy Me Love.
Across the universe.
That's that's a Beatles movie.
Yeah.
A musical with not them in it, and bad,
I don't
I've
like
heard.
it either.
bad.
Do not
versions
like
of those songs.
That one and the one that Blockbuster put out about Bob Dylan, where like
Complete Unknown.
No, that's awesome. But it's James Mangold. They got a woman playing them. I think it's Kate Blanchett.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, and it's like
that's
3 different stories.
4, but it sucks.
Yeah.
But then
That's
there's
a cool
also a Bob
concept,
Dylan
though.
one. It kind of. But Bob Dylan's not really like that.
No.
There's not that. He's not he's Bob Dylan. That's really it. And if you watch Don't Look Back, the documentary that the guys that made Beatles movies just followed him around on a tour, that's Bob Dylan. And he's none of those 4 characters. Although he did lie and say, I guess, that he grew up on a circus, traveling around on a circus, and the black kid, is traveling around on a train,
Oh, okay.
like a hobo. But
Like a
it could be
complete
anybody.
unknown.
It could be anybody they're making that movie about.
Right. Wasn't that like the thing for Bob Dylan? Is that he's just somebody? He's not anybody. He's just a guy.
Kind of.
You know.
But he's kind of a genius, so.
Well,
Not
he is
that you'd
I
ask
will
him.
say he's a genius writing other people's songs.
Yeah, he can't sing any of his own songs.
No,
but
other people
man,
that do
can
his
he
stuff,
write?
they always do it better.
Oh yeah.
He all along the Watchtower, when Jimi Hendrix covered it, he's like, "Why didn't I do that?" And then he only plays it Jimi Hendrix way.
Yeah, he said that's the definitive version.
It is
of
the definitive version.
And like, and I
Because
I
all he
do
does is
like-
play the same guitar to every song. It's
no,
just
when he goes electric,
Yeah,
they're
but
all
I'm
different.
not a Bob Dylan fan.
I
I'm
am.
actually the biggest Bob Dylan hater.
Wow.
But
wow.
and
you used to be my son.
I just don't like
Not
his
anymore.
voice.
I'm gonna rip my shirt.
Well, no, I get what you're saying with his voice and stuff, but like you got to listen to. And the thing that really sold me with him is the times are changing.
I think he's a good songwriter.
I think that's where you got to go in. You don't come in with like blowing
I
in the
don't
wind. You
like
come in with
country.
it's not country.
So
It's folk.
folk is corny country.
Folk music is great.
You should
folk
watch Dead Man if you think if that's your reaction to folk
I
music.
am a man.
That's not.
No,
that's-
that song actually goes hard.
I kind of want to do the movie Dead Man on this podcast because I was introduced to it
Maybe next month.
and I didn't really like it.
You mentioned it a million times,
But
and
I've
I
come to
still
like
haven't
it.
seen it.
So we might take, but that what you just said is folk is nerdy country or
Yeah.
whatever. Dead Man is like dorky western, but
know what's funny?
Works.
You say that like your mother can only handle a little bit of Bob Dylan peppered in once in a while. I listen to a whole album, but I like blues music and like older stuff. Like if Howlin' Wolf or John Lee Hooker's doing just acoustic stuff, or and especially Robert Johnson. She says it's just black country music.
Well, so blues music though is the root of all.
And I tell her that she's like, I don't care.
I'm
They
also-
do it better.
I'm also not a big fan of the acoustic guitar.
That's why I'm not in Trust Fall.
But in general, I just like tone of it. It's not as cool.
Speaking of
Not
acoustic
as
guitar,
cool.
Paul plays the acoustic guitar to Beth in this movie.
Beth,
And that is the only time Peter Chris's voice is in this movie.
Singing
he has
that
to
song.
sing it. I think the only song he ever sings.
And
No, he sings Hard Luck Woman.
The only one you'll know.
I know that song.
Somebody
I'm trying
else,
to think of when
Garth
that song
Brooks-
plays.
I don't think it's in this one. I don't think it's.
Oh,
I don't
no,
think that
Peter
album
Criss
came
sings
out.
a couple songs.
Yeah.
He had like I mean he's the Ringo of the band. Like they do give him songs. But I mean they're like Hard Luck Woman and Beth. They're like they're not
They're
he's
the
got a
ballads.
beautiful
There's no
voice.
drums in this. You sing.
He's got a I like one of his songs on Psycho Circus a lot.
Is it Peter Criss or
It's
the
Peter
other guy?
Criss.
Okay.
Because I think that might have been one of the last albums they did together because they came
Right.
back.
Yeah.
I think I don't know, but
You know what? I'm going to say definitely.
definitely
Yeah. That was the last one all 4 of them were on. Yeah.
Well, because after that was
Everything just fell apart.
not that.
And they got to go on tour, and Peter Criss has to learn how to play the drums
Holy
again.
stuff.
Yeah, it's terrible. And Ace Frehley, too.
Peter Criss really did grow up to be a turtle too.
Yeah, he did.
He's a turtly guy.
Turtle with a Brooklyn
Man,
accent.
I want to tell that story so bad.
What?
I'm way off track.
We've already been off track,
So-
which is the...
We're in the
Like, when you're watching this movie, this would happen, and then you'd be like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And it would come back on.
So there's a movie called Master of Disguise,
Oh, yeah.
and
With Dana Carvey.
it stars Dana Carvey, and there's a part in it where he's going to the Turtle Club and he dresses like a turtle human, which is not what the Turtle Club meant. But the day they shot that, and he's all in costume and all that stuff, everybody come look at the news right now. It was 9/11.
Oh, shit.
So I can't not think of that. So when he's like, oh, turtle guy. Guess what just happened? Anyway, one of my favorite parts of this whole movie is when they're sitting after Robo Gene attacked the part. Man, we haven't even really talked about this. Robo Gene attacked the security guards. They're sitting at the pool,
Yeah.
and the cops show up, and they have this banter between the 4 of them.
Uh-huh.
And Paul's like, he thinks she did. He's convinced she did it, but they want you to do the show. He's sweating the stuff. He's just plain sweating. I thought when he said he's just saying he's a very, very, very sweaty guy. That's why he said it twice. It wasn't until I really heard what he was saying. It's like, oh, no, that's a phrase.
Uh-huh.
He's sweating the cops.
Right.
And he's just sweaty. And so that's when Gene hands him the towel. Why are they in full garb? They're in full Kiss armor.
Because
and
back
makeup.
then, like, they're going to come out with an album called Unmasked. Everybody's a big deal
To see Kiss.
in hype land. So when I'm 7 years old, that's all I know.
Right.
That you never see them without their makeup on. They're always like this. And they're come to
wrestlers.
find out, like, he's dating Cher at some point, hanging out. There's pictures of him all the
Everywhere.
time without makeup on. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So it's their mystique kind of thing with the makeup and the get up. So they're always like that because they're always like that.
I don't mean just the makeup. I mean like their
the-
armor. But then they
put
have
them pictures up where you got them big demon
the big
boots on.
all that sitting in front of a pool with their silver glittery pool
Yeah.
covers.
Yeah, that's
Awesome
it.
outfit.
Like, why? Why
This
not
picture
just
looks
have the
hard
makeup?
because this looks really good.
It does
Out of
look
context, I'd be like, Kiss is the coolest band ever.
They look evil there too, because of those robes.
Also, I like how Ace Frehley has his legs crossed. He's the only one who's not sitting like this, and he's sitting legs crossed, back, like not mysticky.
Yeah, and
Yeah, you can tell he does not care.
and he's out of it.
Do you have a picture of their stunt doubles?
Yes,
Kind of.
I've shown them 3 times.
Okay,
okay.
so
The one guy
You won't
is
be able to
black.
tell.
yeah, Ace Frehley is. I thought of this. Paul was on the Joe Rogan podcast. I think that's where I first heard it. Talking about the
Yeah, Joe Rogan
Stunt
should
doubles.
watch this and promote it on his show.
Joe.
You should watch the Joe Rogan.
But Paul's talking about how the production of this movie was so bad the stunt doubles look nothing like us.
Yeah.
As a kid, I didn't know what a stunt double was. But going back, I think Jean's a woman. The guy playing Jean's a lady. And like
Is that picture up there right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's with the all those things are robots that Devereaux made, and then he makes Kiss robots, and he's gonna take over the world or whatever.
take over the park. Not even
because
the
he's
world, just the
mad
park.
for revenge.
He's gonna destroy the park.
Destroy the park.
But if you wanted to know what Kiss looks like without the makeup,
Y'all have never worked a blue collar job
just
that
watched
if you
something from
haven't
the
tried
80s.
to.
you watch something from the 80s. Or look at that. Look how cool that is. Look at
That is cool.
Oh, look at that. I hope you got that. Because I wasn't pointing it at camera 2. I was pointing at camera 3.
It's them taking their faces off.
Anyway, Tom's not helping me out here.
Oh.
Take your fucking-
Gee.
But we're kind of running short on time here. So if I had to say, you got to watch this movie. Watch it around Halloween.
Watch it around Halloween. Yeah,
it fits.
It's just bad and good.
Yeah,
it's so bad it's good.
It's
really
one of those movies. It's really like it.
Studio 666 is like that in from jump. Like they're making a horror movie. The effects are way better, but it's a cheap horror movie.
With
starring
the
Foo Fighters, yeah, and it's just fun to watch.
And that's all it is. It's just fun. Like the movie's not. You're not going into this.
You're not going to learn anything about life.
You're not going to learn anything. You're not even going to really understand who they are.
You're not going to be changed as a person.
You're just having fun.
Yes,
it's like it's junk food.
It's a roller coaster. Yeah, an amusement park.
Yeah, and I love that they put the solo album stuff in there. Because
Originally, all the ambient music was Hanna-Barbera music, and then when they released it in theaters, yeah, that would have been awesome. In Europe, they added stuff from their solo albums.
I think to help promote the solo album,
probably, and that version you have has that in it.
Yeah,
it's that, and I was watching one clip, and it was Radioactive.
Yeah,
off the Gene Simmons one.
That's when he is attacking the night guard. Because it's the all that creepy stuff.
That's a good song.
Yeah, I guess
Kiss
highlights.
is not Bob Dylan.
No,
don't
not.
ever go in and listen to a Kiss album and just say, "Oh, this is shit. It sucks." It's fine for what it is. There's good, fun rock and roll songs.
And this or just Kiss in general?
Kiss in general.
You want to listen to one of the greatest albums ever made? You listen to Destroyer.
Yeah, and that's one of the greatest album covers ever. I think
it's so cool.
I love it.
I think that Destroyer rivals all of Bob Dylan's music. So I guess first impressions was, as a Kiss fan, I got Kiss on my leg.
Yep.
Perfect Kiss movie. As a movie lover. Terrible movie.
Love it.
Movie. But like, it's so good. It's like The Room. It's better than The Room. But it's one of those so bad it's good kind of things.
Yeah.
Like you were saying.
I don't think
The Room is bad.
Good. It's just bad.
This is it's have fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun in this.
Especially when you got the stunt doubles that don't look like them at all. And they got makeup on.
And you
that
can
whole
still tell.
get up, and you can still tell. How is that possible?
And we didn't even talk about the Ghost Ninja Samurai people.
Nope.
Wolf people?
Huh?
The wolf people?
No, the Ghost Ninja Samurai guys.
I don't remember
that
that.
happened right after that.
Yeah.
Let's go! Oh, man. Oh, like, watch the movie.
Yeah,
it's a blast.
Your inner 7-year-old will come out.
So, we're doing a rock and roll band kind of theme right now.
Right.
Battle of the bands. So, we got Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park up against Rock and Roll High School.
Oh,
Who do you think takes it?
Rock and Roll High School.
You do?
Definitely.
I think Kiss takes it. What about you, Randy?
Oh.
I like the Ramones better than Kiss, but I like that movie better.
Okay. I think pacing-wise, the Kiss movie is a little better.
Okay.
I think
because it's
the
made
Kiss
for TV.
is better.
And they had to write it for commercials to go in and everything, too.
Yeah.
So you would. That's a good observation, Tom. I mean, Randy Official.
Oops. Really?
So which
one would you pick?
I think Kiss.
All right, so awesome. Kiss. He's a fan of the park. But yeah, check back next week when we do something awesome.
You want me to tell you what's coming up?
Yeah, so next week we're going to watch Hard Day's Night.
Okay.
Both Kiss and the Ramones wanted to make a Beatles movie. Well, let's watch the one they wanted to make.
Yeah.
Hard Day's Night. We're gonna pit that up against the Who's Tommy.
Way to go with the memory.
So check them out.
Yeah, check them out.
And we'll meet you back here at the podcast, and we'll find out which band has the best battle of the movies. Anyway, I am Cheese Film.
I am the Demon.
And I am Randy Official.
And this has been the Grindhouse Podcast.
All night and rock and roll all day.
And have a wonderful time.